mean, just to see all the regional directors that were just promoted is just incredible. And to see all the different teams that are represented here is just incredible. I want to first say congratulations to all the international directors. So, Marty Hell, and my man Refugio, which I call him Noah. He built the ark before the flood. They had nothing, he had a vision, and he found those with that vision and they followed. So that's incredible. We appreciate you guys paving the way. You know, I'm gonna share with you a little bit about my story. Some of you have heard my story before, and some of you may not have heard my story, but my 1-year anniversary being involved with Momentis was June 8th. It was my 1-year anniversary. And I got a phone call from Tim Sparkman. And I gotta tell you, he called me 2 months prior to save me, and I said I wasn't interested. And at the time, he called me and I said I wasn't interested, I was broke. I was disgusted and busted. And was really in a deep depression and didn't realize how deep of a depression I was in until I started to come out. But he didn't give up on me. He continued to call me again. And there's a lesson to that. Make sure you create a no list. Because people will tell you no today and people mind will change with time and circumstances. Remember that. So he called me again in June, and I went out and looked at the opportunity. I rode DART bus and train, which is our public transportation, to look at the opportunity for the very first time, because I didn't have a car. Had lost the house, had lost the car. And we were living in low-income apartment complex, where you can't make over X amount of dollars a year, you know? The second month that we were there, they broke in and stole everything. Everything. And we didn't have any insurance. We were broke. And one of the things that I recall that stuck with me, and I gotta tell you, I mean, when I say they stole everything, they took clothes out, threw it all on the floor, they took drawers, dumped everything, they cut through the furniture like they were looking for money. And I remember taking a picture of everything in the house and my baby girl coming up to me in tears and saying, "Daddy, they stole my shoes." And at that point, I couldn't even hold the emotion. I had to walk out the apartment. I think I just bawled like a baby. Frustrated, was not happy with my current situation, knew that my family deserved better. And I remember sending Tim a text message with the pictures and Andy a text message with the pictures. And I said, you know what? It's game on. It's game on. And here's what I want you to understand. We've got all different types of teams that are represented here. But we go in knowing that we are all Team Momentis. We are all Team Momentis. And we all want to do the exact same thing. We want to be able to live an incredible lifestyle and provide for our families, provide for those that we care about. And for those of you, because I know you've heard so many stories of people who've just lost it or hit rock bottom to get started. Don't wait for something like that to happen to you, for you to realize you need to take advantage of what's going on with Momentis. Create it in your mind right now of what you don't want to envision of happening to you to make you move forward if that's not your background. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that making sense?
Yes.
Okay, because this is not TV, you can talk back to me. So when I took that picture, and it's still in my mind, I rode DART bus and train for 4.5 months building this business. I would walk from the corporate office, almost a a little less than a half a mile to the DoubleTree where we would have our weekly meetings to do presentations. And no one knew I was walking. I was embarrassed to tell anybody that I didn't have a car. I remember Tim Sparkman he was getting a little angry with me because he wanted me to go do certain meetings. And I didn't, he didn't know my situation. I said, Tim, I don't have a car. He's like, what do you mean you don't have a car? I said, man, I've been riding dark bus and train all this time. And he, bless his heart, he felt about this big, but he was like, wow. So then when I get to the DoubleTree, I would go in the bathroom and take paper towels and wet it, and then put those paper towels on my head to cool my body temperature down, and then go in and do a meeting. And remember, this was in June, July, August of 2011. It was one of the hottest summers ever in Texas. And then I met my road dog riding that bus and train, Regional Director Alonzo Sermon. And because of his military background, he would help me out. He says, no, Antoine, what we gotta do is you gotta put a bottle of water in the freezer. And then when you get ready to leave in the morning, take the bottle of water out with the towel that's wrapped up in it, and then you can put it around your neck and it'll start to defrost. So with that being said, what kept me in this game were events. The events. You must attend the events. And I'm talking about your local events. I'm talking about conference calls, which are events. We have to stay plugged in. And you do that by attending every single event you can. For those of you who are in markets that are just getting started, create your event. You become that leader that creates the event. Okay? You must attend. If you don't, it's like starting a fire. Let's say we're gonna barbecue and we got these coals. If you don't put the coals together, the fire won't stay lit. If you start separating the coals, try that sometime and see what happens. Separate the coals and see if you can get your fire started. And what's amazing is even when you take a coal out of the stack, it goes out, the fire is out. You can take that coal, put it right back in, and guess what? It catch fire again. We are human, and it's a fact that there's gonna come times that we don't feel like getting on a conference call. There's gonna come times that we don't feel like attending an event. There's some of you didn't feel like driving here, but you did it. You did it because of your why, and you did it because you know how important events are. I guarantee you, those of you that drove here, you can fly back home without even a car because of the excitement. So, events are important. Wouldn't you agree that there's no way that we can bottle this up and take it back home? How many of you wish you had more people here? How many of you wish you had more people here? It's important. The events is what kept me. When I started, I didn't bring a team. I didn't bring a team. I remember standing talking to saying, I don't have a team. I'm gonna start all over again. But it was the events that kept me going. So guess what? Guess what? What? Guess what? What? Would you like to know where the next event is? Yeah! Roll the video.
start. Oh, I'm gonna start waking up, darling. Good.
So it's that time. It's that time that we as leaders, and you be a do-it-first leader, pre-register for the Dallas event. It's going to be September the 14th through the 16th at the Gaylord Resort. You want to be there. You want to be there. So what we're going to do, we're going to utilize technology. Right now, what you got your cell phone, some of you already have it out because you're sending text messages. And I want you to go online right now and go to www.m-event.net and pre-register. Take advantage of the limited time offer of pre-registration. For those of you that don't have your cell phone, guess what? We've got applications. But we want you to pre-register now. Not tomorrow, now. So if you go online, guess what? Your name will appear on the screen as you pre-register.
Wow.
Technology, www.m-event.net.
What's